Okay, so the very first thing is I'm going to load in the data set, and I am going to go to the location of the data set, which is three badly structured sales data. Sure, please hold on. So, okay. All right. So now the information I'll be needing here is just okay, I can just import the claim just to assist with what I want to get. So I'll be importing the claim, the first class, the same day, the second class, and the standard class. Right. So those are the information that we have. So now these are the list of people that submitted. Let me just show everyone. Let me show everyone. So it won't be like probably I am omitting some people name. I am not omitting some people name. So while that one is loading, let's wait for it to load. So you all are going to see those that submitted. Okay. Mm. I don't need the dirty inside of it. I don't need the dirty. I have done the things I need to do. I don't need the dirty inside of it. I have a bad network today, probably because of the rain. Okay, now these are the people that submitted. Now, okay, so let me just call the name one by one. Yeah, since they're just 28. So now, is this 28? What's wrong, man? Network today. Okay. All right. So I know where the error is coming from then. I know where the error is coming from. Okay. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do now is if I call your name, if your name is here and I call your name, I am going to call the name one by one, right? So if first I call Damilola, you can just say present, or if I'm calling Damilola, right? I don't want anybody to take another person name. So when I call Damilola, just say present or yes, sir, or something, right? So Adeyemo Damilola, if you're in the class, signify by saying yes, sir. Adeyemo Damilola, Chioma Stella, Emmanuel Akpo, Nana, Nana Ose, Martins Fatima, Ame Meletus.
Yes, sir.
In the chat
Yes,
section,
sir.
in the chat section, please. The chat section. So I'll start all over again. Everyone should be in the chat section. Adeyemo Damilola, Chioma Stella, Emmanuel Akpo, Nana Ose, Martins Fatima, Ame Meletus. Okay, Alfred. Okay, Alan Bernard. Is Alan Bernard in the class? Okay. Bimiro Tolu, Elvira, Elvira, Elvira Lackdon, Isabel Mercy, Emeka. That's Emeka's iPhone. I'm sure of that. Emeka is Emeka iPhone. If I'm sure of that. Olawumi, Lura. Okay, Lura is in the class. Abdushakur, Yusuf Rafatu, Innocent Osano, Rosemary Oni, wow, oh God, Osato, let me just make it short. Godwin Ikechukwu, Babalola Deborah Yopeyemi, Edwin Abama, okay, Mbale Njok, is it Unjoke or Unjoke? Gerard Unjoni, Jesu Dun, Oluwaseun Shola, and Elizabeth. All right, so now those are the people that submitted the assignments. And now on a random, I am going to be calling just 4 people, right? Which is Lura, which will be the very first person. Lura, so please explain to the class how you were able to achieve the clean data set. Kindly explain to the class how you were able to achieve the clean data set.
Hello.
Is Lura in the class?
Hello, can you hear me?
All right,
Yes, I am.
All right, we can all hear you.
Yes, so basically, I first moved the order ID to the first column.
Okay, let's start with the first day, with the first class, I mean. So what did you do?
I deleted the first and second row because they are null and there's no data in them.
Okay. After that?
Everything was okay. For the first class,
Okay.
I changed the row for the first class from null to first class.
You did what?
I changed the name of okay. After deleting the first and second row,
okay,
the data was 100 at the order ID, so that one is okay. For the order date, I changed the order date to date. That one is fine. I think it's okay. For the first class, can you move your mouse to the first class section? It's me who can't see. Oh, I can see it. Sorry. For the first class, I changed the first class column from null to first class.
Okay. What next did you do?
For the column of the consumer, corporate, and home office, I selected the column for consumer, corporate, and home office, and unpivoted the columns, so they were merged together.
All right. Okay. That's okay. If I am to give you your score, if I'm to give you your mark, I won't be giving you 100, right? Because you made an error with the very first step you took, right? So thank you very much. You actually, right, that shows you did the assignment. So calling on the next person, Gerald Unjoni. Gerald Unjoni is in the class, or is she in the class? Gerald Unjoni. Is Gerald in the class? Okay. The next person I'll be calling on to is Innocent Osano. Innocent Osano. So can you explain to the class how you were able to solve the data sets and you were able to get this clean data sets? The floor is yours. Is Innocent in the class? Is Innocent in the class because I got his message in the chat section. Is Innocent in the class? You're not in a position to explain. Why is that? Any reason to that? Okay. Um, Olawumi, what is your surname? Olawumi, can you explain to the class how you were able to resolve your assignment? How you were able to solve your assignment? Olawumi, is she in the class?
Yes, I'm in the class, coach. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening to you. Please, can you pronounce your surname?
Ikojamofo
Is that Yoruba or Igbo?
is Yoruba.
Ah, okay. All right. So
Very
can
deep.
eh?
I say it's very deep.
In that pronunciation is. All right. Can you explain to the class how you were able to solve your assignments?
Okay, so in all honesty, I was a bit confused as to where to start from.
All right.
I started with the dirty data for the fact that the request was for us to clean the dirty data. Okay, so I was trying to after uploading, I was trying to remove the empty cells and also to do the pivot on pivoting. But at some point, I was confused about what to do, but I just made an attempt and I ended up submitting what I did eventually. So I wasn't able to complete it. Thank you.
All right. So okay, without wasting much of our time, let's just go into correction. So now the very first thing you want to do is this first row and the second row, you don't need to delete them. You are not meant to delete them, right? Because the information is not starting from the first or the second row. All information is starting from the third row, right? So these first two rows have a reason why they are still there. So now the very first step you just need to do is the first class, you can replace the values from null to first class. So we're going to replace it from null to what? First class. I'll click on enter, right? And from there, the header, I'll change the header to what? Segments. I'll change the header to segments, right? That's the name of it. Okay, ship mode, not segments. The header should be ship mode. Ship mode and not segments. Right. So now after that, the next thing I have to do is I'll select consumer, corporate, and home office. After I've selected those, I can just come to transform. But instead of me going to transform, I will just right click and I'll what on pivot columns. Now I have unpivoted the columns, and these attributes I'll change to what segments. Right? And the values I'll change it to what sales. So the next thing is I just need to sort. And that's all for the first class. That's all for the first class. Nothing more. We are done with the first class. So now moving on to the same day. Rename this to what ship mode. Right? And replace the values from null to same day. Enter. Right? So select consumer, corporate, and home office. Next thing is what? On pivot columns. After that, click on this and sort. And after you're done sorting, rename it also to what segments. I rename this to what sales. All right. So repeat the same thing for second class also. Replace this from null to second class. Enter. All right. So select consumer, corporate, and home office. Right click and what on pivot columns. After that, sort it. Right. Rename this to what segments. Rename this to sales. Right. And for the standard class, repeat the same step. So replace the values from null to standard class. Okay. Rename the header from standard class to what ship mode. Now select consumer, corporate, and home office. Right click and what on pivot columns. After that, sort it. Rename this to what segments. And rename this to what sales. Right. So if you're done with that, what I'll just do is I will now what append queries. But what do? I will append queries as what new queries. I will append them as a new query. So I'm working with 3 or more tables. So now the first table is the first class, right? I can just okay. What's your question, please, Nana?
Yeah, I think please go to the second class.
For which one?
Second class, the query second class.
Okay. Oh,
So I think, so
thank
no,
you.
I think, no, I think there to be the standard class query. Please go there.
This is
Please,
standard.
you need to format the date, order date.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. I didn't notice
No
that.
problem.
All right. Thank you. So I am going to select on the first class and I'm going to append the queries as new. So 3 or more tables. The first class, same day, second class, and standard. And the next thing is our sorry.
Please, sir, can you come again in appending queries? I'm not getting very.
All right, so I selected the first class and I'm going to click on append queries. I am not appending it. And I am not just appending it. I am appending them as a new table, right? So I will append queries as new, right? So now I am not working with just 2 tables. I am working with 3 or more tables. I am not just working with 2 tables. I am working with 3 or more tables. So I'll change it to what 3 or more tables. So now I can see that tables to append. The first class is there. I'll click on the same day, click on add, second class, add, delete, second class, add, standard class, add, right? And I'll click on what? Okay. And automatically, I have my first class, my same day, my second class, and my standard class, all together. So meaning if I am getting, okay, let me just delete this too. Now, if I come here now, if I come here and I try to, statistics, and I click on sum, now you can see the total. You can see it's giving me 39,391,721. Right? That's for the sum of all your sales. So let's see what the sales of this one is going to give us if we transform it and click on sum. You can now see the same value, 391,721, the same value. So now, is there any question on the correction? Does the order matter? Yeah, the order matters because that's the order ID. We are working with, that's the order ID. That is the order ID. So now that's for the assignment. That is for the assignment. So for anyone that needs to do correction, now the correction is not available for you. So I'll just close this. I am not saving it. I'll close that. And also close Power BI. So now let's now move into today's topic. So now for today's topic, we are going to be talking about, so announced to you, we are now inside of Power BI. We've moved from Power Query, now we are dealing with Power BI. So now for today's class, we are going to be talking about data modeling and everything all around data modeling only. Everything all around what? Data modeling only. And from tomorrow, we are going to be talking about DAX, which is data analysis expression. We are going to be talking about DAX tomorrow, which is data analysis expression. But for today's class, we are going to be talking about data modeling. So now, data modeling in Power BI. Okay, Favor, please read.
Data modeling in Power BI is a crucial step in transforming raw data into insightful reports and dashboards. It involves designing the structure and relationships of your data to enable efficient and meaningful analysis. Why does data modeling matter in Power BI? 1, it supports data exploration. Data modeling enables users to create hierarchies and drill down paths, which supports efficient data exploration. Users can quickly navigate through data to discover insights and identify trends. 2, it affects performance. How a data model is designed directly impacts the speed and efficiency of data retrieval.
Hello, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, is that all?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you done?
No.
Okay, you can continue, please.
Affects performance. How a data model is designed directly impacts the speed and efficiency of data retrieval. Poorly designed data models, such as those with complex relationships and data redundancy, can lead to slow query performance, which can cause delay in reports rendering. It promotes more accurate reports. When a data model is designed correctly, it can guarantee the accuracy, consistency, and dependability of the data used in reports. This, in turn, can result in more precise insights and improved decision making.
All right, thank you very much. So when we talk about data modeling, it is a crucial step in transforming data into meaningful insights and reports. meaningful insight reports, and dashboard. All right. So now data modeling itself, it helps us in organizing our data. Right. So now you have a data set now. Your data set is not properly cleaned, right? The data type and all. Let me just say it is not properly cleaned. Now it can affect your data. It can affect your visualization. It can affect your dashboard creation, right? So now that is where data modeling comes in. So now what does it do? It supports data exploration. Data modeling enables users to create hierarchies and drill down paths. So now when we talk about hierarchies and drill down paths, hierarchies mostly works for the dates function, right? If you're having dates in your data, that is what hierarchy really works for. And when you talk about drill down paths, right, you're trying to drill down on a specific information, right? So all these are done when you get to the visualization aspects. Now, affect performance. Now, how data model is designed directly impacts the speed and efficiency of your data retrieval. Now, meaning how it is talking about how your data is being cleaned, right? You know, if it is properly cleaned, it's going to affect your performance. And if it is not properly cleaned, it is also going to affect your performance. So now the next one is promote accuracy reports. So now when data model is designed correctly, it's guarantee the accuracy, consistency, and dependability of the data used in reports. So now that is the theory reason why data modeling matters in Power BI. So now the next one we are going to be talking about now is the tables. Now we are going to be talking about tables. So now who else is going to read? Who else is going to read? Or should we leave everything for favor? Who else is going to read? Does anyone want to read, or do anyone wants to read? Do anyone want to read excluding favor? Okay. Pampe, please read.
Okay, sir. Tables, data modeling, tables, fact tables. A fact table store quantitative numerical data that can be aggregated and analyzed in different ways. It typically contains information about specific events, transactions, or measurements and serves as the centerpiece of a data model. Dimension tables. A dimension tables provide content and additional details to the numerical data stored in a fact table. For example, a product dimension table might contain columns for the product name, product category, product description, and supplier's name. Generally, dimension tables contain a relatively small number of rows. Fact tables, on the other hand, can hold a very large number of rows and continue to grow over time. In the data model, a dimension table is linked to a fact table through a relationship. By linking the two tables together, Power BI users can analyze the data in the fact table by filtering, grouping, and aggregating the data based on the attributes in the dimension tables.
All right, thank you very much. Pampe, please, what is your real name? I don't like it that I'm calling you Pampe.
And Martins Fatima Oluwatosin.
But okay, all right. Martins. Okay. You said you are from Lagos. Oh, yeah, I seems I remember.
Yeah.
All right. So now when we talk about fact table, right? Like she read, I won't be reading everything. I'll just move to the last parts. Now it says it serves as the centerpiece of your data model. Now, when you call something centerpiece, what does it mean in the chat section? Or anyone that knows it. When you call something centerpiece, what does it mean? If you know it, you can just say something. When you call something centerpiece, what does it mean? In between, no. Key points, right? Natasha Joy and Fremon, good. Favor, good. It holds everything together. right? So now let me just break it down. Now our device, our phone, our laptop, right? We all know what we call motherboard, or should I say, well, we all know what we call motherboard or panel. We all know what we call motherboard or panel, right? So now everything in the phone is connected to the what? Everything inside your phone is connected to the what? Or your laptop. Everything inside of your laptop is connected to the what? To the motherboard. Good. So now we are going to be taking the motherboard as a centerpiece, right? If you're having a data now, right, and that data, that is your centerpiece, meaning that is the data you're working with. That is your fact table, right? That's the data you're using for your visualization. Are you all getting it? When you talk about fact table, the fact table is the data you are using for your visualization, right? And do we all get that? Do we now understand the explanation of fact table? Or should I take it again? So now when we now talk about dimension table, right? What does it say? A dimension table, right? Okay, let me leave out the explanation. Now, for example, a product dimension table might contain columns for the product name, product category, product description, and supplier name. Now, let me go back to our motherboard and our panel. Now, everything inside of your phone are connected to the motherboard. To the motherboard, yes or yes? Yeah. Now, which is our camera, right? Our charging ports, our speaker, our touch, our screen. Everything is all connected to the motherboard. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? So now, meaning if the motherboard is not active, can any of them work? If the motherboard is not active, can any of them work? No. It's as simple as that. Meaning if there is no fact table, right, your dimension table cannot function. Are you all with me? So now, moving on. Generally, dimension table contain a relatively small numbers of rows. Fact table, on the other hand, can hold a very large number of rows and continue to grow over time. Now, let me now bring this into the accounting aspects. Now, as an auditing officer, or what should I even say? How should I even put it now? Okay, let me just say as an audit officer. Now you have the master record of a particular company. Yes, so now you have a master record of a particular company. In that aspect, that is the fact table, right? So now any other information that are coming in from different departments from that company at the dimension table, right? Because they are just containing probably the things they did within a year, right? But the fact table, which is the master record you are having, it's something that has been containing record of years ago, probably for like 5 years altogether. Meaning you just have to keep updating the data in the master record. Are you getting the example? Are you getting the example?
No, sir.
Hmm?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. Now
No, sir.
Okay. So now let me explain it again. Now, our school grading, our school report card, right? You know, when you get into a school, the report card you'll be given to you will be blank. Yes or yes?
Yes, sir.
Right? So now it's going to be blank. Now, first term, which is just one first term, what your teacher will do is update the report card. Am I correct? The teacher is going to update the report card, right? Now, that report card itself is a fact table because it is the one holding all the old record. It is growing over time, right? It is what's growing over time. Are you with me? Second term, the teacher is going to what? Update it again. Third term, the teacher is going to what? update it. Yours is just like, yeah, the student is the owner of the report card. What your teacher is just doing is she's just updating it for you, right? She's what? Updating it for you. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, let me show you on my Power BI now, so you understand better now. Now, look at this now. Look at this cookies type, right? Look at the customer and look at the orders. Now, which one of the three tables is my fact table? The cookies type, the cookie type, the customers, and the orders. Which of the table is my fact table? Which of the table is my fact table? We have cookie types, customers, and orders. So now, which of the table here is my fact table? Anyone in the class? Anyone in the class?
I guess it's
You guess. Why are you guessing? Someone says, who said something now? Was that Favor? Oh,
yes, I feel
yeah. So what is the I'm sure Favor is not the only person in the class tonight, right? We have 44 participants. So now, which of the table is my fact table? The customers, the cookie type, or the order? The orders. Good. The order is my what? My fact table. Because what? It grows over time. Meaning I can keep adding information into my fact table, which is this order. I can keep adding what? Information inside of it. Now, if we keep going on, this cookie type, I will be needing what? The revenue per cookie and the cost per cookie. I'll be needing what? The revenue per cookie and the cost per cookie, right? On the customers, I'll be needing the name, the phone, the address, the city, the state, and I don't need the zip code, I don't need the notes, right? Can you all see it now? These two now are my dimension table, the cookie type and the customers are my dimension table. Now, why are they my dimension table? What does it say? For example, a product dimension table might contain what? The product name. Now, look at it now. The name, right? The phone, the address, the city, the country. Now, meaning for each person now, you can see the customer now, meaning anyone that is on customer ID 1. This is the person name, this is the person phone number, the person address, this person city, and the person state, and the person zip code, and the person country, right? Meaning anywhere you see customer ID 1, it is going to go into what? The customer ID 1. You can all see it now. That is how it works. That's what we call fact table and dimension table. Now, in a data model, a dimension table is linked to a fact table through what? A relationship. Now, it is linked to a fact table through a what? Relationship. By linking the two tables together, Power BI users can analyze the data in the fact table by filtering, grouping, and aggregating the data based on the attributes in the dimension table. Now, how do you link the fact table and the dimension table together? Can anyone guess? It is through a relationship. Yeah, it is through a relationship. But what is activating that relationship? What is making those two tables relate with each other? Primary key and what? Primary key and what? Primary key and what? Yeah, Stephen tried. Merging. It is not merging now. Merging is what we are going to use to join them. Correct. That's good, Stephen. Primary key and the foreign key. Now, meaning this is the primary key. Primary key is what? It is uniquely identified, right? You can identify your primary key uniquely. And also, when it comes to your foreign key, they are duplicated values. Your foreign key are duplicated what? Values. Now, the relationship is what? The column that is relating them together. The column was relating them together. Now, on this aspect, what's the column relating the orders and the customer, which is what? My customer ID. Now, the customer ID is what is relating this customer table and the order table together through their customer ID. Is there any question on that before we move on to the next slide? Is there any question on that before we move on to the next slide?
Please, sir, can you come again? I'm very lost.
Okay, so which one should I come again on?
The last thing you explained.
All right, so now I said on the PowerPoint slide, a dimension table is linked to a fact table through a what relationship. Now, this relationship it is talking about is it deals with what our primary key and alternative key. The primary key and the what alternative key. So now let me go to the next slide so you understand what I'm talking about. Now, this is a preview of the fact table and the dimension table. Can you all see it now? This is a preview of the fact table and the what dimension table. So now the next one we're going to be talking about is the relationship. This relationship you are seeing here is what we are going to be talking about right now. Now, someone should read for us. Okay, the last person that spoke now that said you don't understand, kindly read what we have under relationship. I don't even know her name. Okay, Bernard, if you want to read, you can read.
Okay. Relationship. To create a relationship between two tables that need to share a column in common. That is where primary and alternative keys come in. Primary and alternative keys are columns in a table that create a relationship between two tables. Primary key, also known as surrogate key. A primary key is a column or group of columns in a table whose value uniquely identify a row in a table. The primary key's distinct count equals the number of rows in the table. Alternative key, also known as foreign key. An alternative key is a column in a table whose values correspond to the values of a primary key in another table. Yes, that's all.
All right, thank you very much, Bernard. So now, what does it say? To create a relationship between two tables that need to share a column in common. That is where primary key and alternative key comes in, right? Now, primary key and alternative key are columns in a table that create relationship between two tables. Now, they are what columns in a table, right? That create what relationship between two tables. Now, what column is creating the relationship between the customers and the order? That is the customer ID column from the order table and the customer ID column in the customer table. Now, what is primary key? Also known as surrogate key. A primary key is a column or group of column in a table whose values uniquely identify a row in a table. Now, how does the value uniquely identify a row in a table? Now we are just having 5 rows, and the information inside the table are just 5. Can you all see it now? On the customer ID, we are just having 5 rows, and the information here are just 1 to 5. Now, the values are uniquely identified by a row, meaning 5 rows and 5 numbers, no duplicates. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about alternative key, also known as what foreign key, alternative key is a column in a table whose values correspond to the values of a primary key in another table. Now, the values correspond to the primary key in another table. Now, look at it now. We are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they are duplicated in 700 rows. Can you all see it now? You can see the rows down here. Follow my mouse down to this place. 700 rows, meaning the information we have inside of the customer ID on the order table are 700 rows, meaning they are not uniquely identified, right? But they are uniquely identified to the primary key in another table. Meaning anywhere we see one, anyone that belongs to one. Now, let me show you. Let me just select one. Meaning anyone that belongs to this one, anybody that is under one, customer ID one, will be referencing to just this one person here. To just this one person here. Are you all getting it now? Are you all getting it now?
No,
No, sir.
Okay, sir. Hello.
Yeah, I'm with you.
If from your explanation, if I may ask, you said the primary key is the key that has unique identifier, right?
Mhm.
Then our foreign key, is it that it has the duplicate of our primary key?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
With the column that is relating two of them together, not just any other column. That column that is relating those two tables together.
Okay, that
You are
is the
either
column name, right?
Yeah, that's it. Not just the column name, the information inside the column also determines. They might be having same column name, but different
Okay,
information. Where you must always look at the information inside of the column
okay,
also. Right? So
okay,
now some tables might have primary key and another table might have primary key, right? But we mostly get the one that is having primary key and alternative key. So now on the primary key might be in the dimension table, it might be in the fact table. The primary key can come in any table. Are you with me? So now in that aspect, anyone that is having the primary key, obviously the other table will be having the what? The duplicate key, meaning on the primary key where they are uniquely identified. Now on the other table, which is the alternative key column, right? Those values are not uniquely identified because they are all duplicated, but they are all referencing to the information inside of the primary key column. Do you get that now?
yes, sir.
All right. So, what's her name? There's someone speaking. I am not really picking her name. Is it is it Unjoke or Unjoke? Or should I just call her name?
Njoke. My
Well,
name is Mbale Njoke.
okay. All right. Do you understand now?
Yes, sir, a little bit.
Okay. All right. No problem. When we go deep into it, you'll understand it properly. All right. So now this is a preview of the primary key and the alternative key. It's a preview of the primary key and the alternative key. So now the next one we're going to be talking about is the cardinality. Now we are going to be talking about the cardinality. Catherine, is Catherine in the class? Is Catherine in the class or Charity?
Yes, I'm in class.
All right. So can you help class in reading cardinality?
Okay. Each relationship in a model is defined by a cardinality type. It refers to the number of unique values in one table related to the number of unique values in another. There are 4 types of cardinality relationships in Power BI: data one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and then one-to-many. Now, one-to-one, this occurs when one record in the first table is related to one and only one record in the second table. This type of relationship is relatively rare in Power BI data modeling. Yeah, don't know primary key. I mean, that one-to-one is primary key. Mwalimu will explain. One-to-many or many-to-one, this occurs when one record in the first table can be related to many records in the second table, and it is the most common. It is the most common type of relationship in Power BI modeling. Primary key out of the keys. Many to many, this occurs when many records in the first table can be related to many records in the second table. This relationship type is not directly supported in Power BI and is infrequently used. Alternate keys. Thank you.
All right. So each cardinality, let me just be brief on it. Each relationship in a model is defined by the cardinality type. I respectfully submit that this reading approach is quite inconvenient for me. Okay, what's the reason to that? Sachi, what's the reason to that?
Can I speak instead?
Yeah, sure, you can speak.
Yeah. One a varied reason, but for two most major. One, it does appear to me it takes a time to get around the few time I have here on this class. Two, we have varied way of pronunciation and tonation. So as people read from varied angles, it takes time to be able to get grasp of some of the things. And you're reading and flicking your mind through and then come back to the explanation sometimes. So it's a bit quite inconveniencing for me. So if it is one and you taken it through, I get to adapt. But as you switch from one person to another person, pronunciation, tonation differences, and it accounts in terms of comprehension of things.
Yeah, I get your point, right? But I am not
Thank
taking a class whereby I'm taking the class whereby I want everyone to relate to each other, right? It's something I can only do the reading throughout the class, and I won't be needing any students reading for me. You get? So that's the reason I just want everybody to participate in everything I am doing. So it shouldn't just be only me talking and reading and reading. That is the reason I am calling everyone on a random, just for me to carry everyone along, and for me to be sure everyone also is in the class and following what we are doing. That is the reason I am calling on anyone randomly to read. Right? Okay. So sorry about any inconvenience this might have caused. All right, so getting to which so henceforth, like I said, like I'm saying in the chat, Favor should do the reading henceforth. So from today henceforth, Favor will do the reading, but it might not be every time. Other people have to read also. So now let me read. Each relationship in a data model is defined by a cardinality type. It refers to the numbers of unique values in one table related to the numbers of unique values in another table. Right? So now, there are 4 types of cardinality relationships in Power BI data modeling. Right? There are what? 4 types of cardinality in Power BI data modeling. And the very first one is what? One-to-one. We have another one, one-to-many, and we have many-to-many. Right? So now you might be wondering why we are having 4, and I'm just mentioning 3. Right? You might be wondering why I am having 4 here, and I am just having 3. Now, the reason to that is because of one-to-one is also known as many-to-one. One-to-one is also known as what? Many-to-one. There are no difference from 2 of them at all. So anyway, you see one-to-many, I mean one-to-many and many-to-one, they are literally the same thing. One-to-many and many-to-one, they are what? Literally the what? Same thing. Now, another thing you should always look out for is, or you might come across is, or if someone should ask you outside that what is the main cardinality or what is the main type of relationship we experience as a data analyst, right? You might come across something like that. Probably someone asking you, what is the main type of the cardinality we come across as a data analyst? So now the main type of cardinality we come across is one to many, right? The main type of cardinality we do come across is what? One to many, which is what? Primary key to what? Alternative key. Primary key to what? Alternative key. So now, one to one, this occurs when one record in the first table is related to one and only record in the second table, meaning your facts table and your dimension table. The column relating two of them together are both primary key columns, meaning no duplicated values. There are no duplicated values at all, just unique values. So now, that is where one to one comes in. Another one we have is what? Many to one. We have what? One to many and many to one. Now, this occurs when one record in the first table can be related to many records in the second table, meaning either the fact table or the dimension table is either having the primary key, right? And on the other hand, either the fact table or the dimension table is having the what? Alternative key. Now, and it is what? The most common type of relationship in Power BI data modeling. Can you see it now? It is the what? Most common type of relationship in Power BI data modeling. And the last one, other cardinality, is what we have many to many. Here we have what? Many to many. Now, what is many to many? This occurs when many records in the first table can be related to many records in the second table, right? This relationship type is not directly supported in Power BI data modeling and is infrequently used, meaning we don't use it. It is not frequently used at all. It is infrequently used, right? What else? Which is what? Alternative keys and alternative keys. Are you all with me? So now, tomorrow, you'll be getting an assignment. You'll be getting what? An assignment. I want everyone to get to this point before I give the assignment. So you all will understand the meaning of when we come talk about one to one, one to many, and many to many. Right? So you'll be getting an assignment tomorrow. Favor, please remind me tomorrow. You'll be getting an assignment tomorrow. All right? So now, the next one, on the cardinality now, let's talk about cardinality more and more. So now, okay, let me just load this to Power BI. Let me close and load this to Power BI. So let's wait for it to load to Power BI. Okay, it is now in Power BI. So now let me come here. Now, can you all see it now? Now, this is what? A one to many relationship. Let me open the properties. Can you see that? You can see the cardinality is what? Many to one. Can you see it now? What's it showing as? What's it showing as? Many to one. I can come here and change it to what? One to many. And let me see. Apply changes. Now, the selected column can't be the key column because it contains what? Duplicate column. Choose a column that has unique value in every field. You can see it now because now why is it like that? Now let me explain that to us. So now it is like that because of what? The relationship, the cardinality. Now, how do you activate your cardinality? We have our model view, we have our table view, and we have our report view. Right? The report view is where we are going to be building our visualization, where you are going to be creating your dashboard. The table view is for you to have a proper view of your table, meaning all the table you've loaded into Power BI for you to build them properly. And we have our model view, where we are going to be seeing our data modeling, right? And also how our tables, how our tables are what relating with each other. And we have our what? Dark query view, right? This is our dark query view. This is for the M language if you want to write code, right? But the one we use is the model view. The one I'm going to be using for tonight is the model view. So now, how do you activate your cardinality? How do you relate your tables together? Now, the simple way for you to relate your table together is just for what? From the customer ID, I'll just drag the customer ID down to this customer ID. Right? You can now see now the relationship because I am dragging it from orders down to customers. But if I drag it from customers down to order, right? Now you can see it now. It's shown as what? One to what? Many. But if I drag from orders down to customer, now it's showing what? Many to one. Why is it showing that? On the order table, the customer ID is duplicated. While on the customer table, the customer ID is what? Uniquely identified. So meaning if I drag it from here down to this place now, right? It's going to show us what? One to many. Can you all see it? Can you all see it now? So is there any
Yes,
question
I
on
do
is there any
understand.
question on cardinality?
So we are seeing, but we don't understand. My question is that when you say in order, we see twice customer. I'm seeing just one.
You are seeing one way. Where are you seeing one?
In the table, the first table, orders, we seen just one customer ID.
Yes. And on the customer table, you are seeing another customer ID, which is uniquely identified. While on the customer ID for the order table, they are not uniquely identified. They are duplicated values.
Okay. Sir,
Okay, I'm with you.
sir,
I'm with you.
that means our foreign key, if we should drag from our primary key to our foreign key that has a duplicate of our primary key, that is a one to many, right?
Many to one. If you are dragging from the foreign key to the primary key, it will give you many to one. But if you
No,
are
from the
dragging
primary key to the foreign key.
it's going to give you one to many.
Okay.
But if you are
get
dragging
it.
from the duplicated value, which is the alternative key or the foreign key, and you're dragging it down to the primary key, it's going to give you many to one.
Okay.
Because that is where you're dragging that's where you're dragging the relationship from. Meaning you are connecting the customer ID to another customer ID, but you're dragging from the duplicated value to the unique value.
But which one is the best approach to use?
Anyone is the best approach, right? But for your proper understanding, you can just use one to many, the one that's having the unique value. Either many to one or one to many, they are the same. That's why I keep saying they are
All right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Emeka, speak please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Can I be heard? Okay.
Yeah.
Which amongst the two now, with customers table and order table? In customers table, we have primary key.
Yes.
Now, why did we now say that orders is our fact table and our customer table is our dimensional table?
Now, the reason to that is because of what?
Can I say something?
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please, you
can.
Yeah,
go on.
Okay, my name is Philemon. I just want to say something concerning the question that he just asked. I think there's a little explanation that we have to understand. For example, we have the order table. The order table is a fact table because it's a table, like the teacher said, it's a table where data is always augmented. So the fact table has the ID, but the ID can be duplicated because, for example, if I'm going to buy from a shop, I have a personal ID that represents just me. But if I'm buying multiple times, that ID will be duplicated. But on the other table, it will not be duplicated because that table is just a reference table that has my ID attached to my name. I don't know if my explanation
it didn't answer the question. when you place too many, when you place many orders, every order you're placing has an ID.
Yes.
A customer ID is just one.
Yes.
My ID is just one. Item ID can be many.
Yes.
So that's my question. Why should customer ID, customer table, be called a dimensional table? Why the other table that has duplicates is now called the fact table?
Okay. Can anyone answer him?
So that's the question.
Can anyone answer him? I should answer him. All right. So now the reason to that, Emeka, is because if you look at your customers and your cookie type, right? Can you now let's be honest. Now look at this unit sold. Now this unit sold we're having here is just giving us the total unit sold of everything inside the order table for each product. Right?
Okay.
Right. So now this unit sold is we don't need it, right? You can I'll just delete this column. I will just delete the column out. So now you can see I have revenue per cookie and I have cost per cookie. Yes or yes?
Revenue per cookie.
Right? So now meaning I can't use this data. Can you use this data set for visualization?
Can I use this data as it is now for visualizing?
You can't. Good. Now let me come to customers. Now look at the information we're having inside of customers. Can you use this data set for your visualization?
Can I use? I can manipulate it. I can go around it. I can set my primary key. I can set the primary key. Then visualize. If I'm to take just take it as a single table, I can.
All right. Okay. Now let me explain something to you. Now look at the order table. You can see the customer ID are all duplicated, right? Now, the order ID alone is telling that everyone ordered different products. Look at the customer ID. We have the same customer ID. 3. Now, this customer ID, ignore that they are having 3 customer ID. Look at the order ID, meaning they order different products, right? Look at this product, order ID 200,000. 266,868, right? Chocolate chips. Now, what's the unit sold for this? 292. The same person, the same customer ID, but different order ID. The same product, but different units sold. Right? Right? Same date, but different units sold. Now, the person can come in the morning, you don't know. Same person again, different order ID. Chocolate chips, different units sold. Different dates. The same person, say different order ID, the same product, different units sold, another date. Can you see it now?
I'm not clear because if I walk into a supermarket, I just imagine myself walking into a supermarket. As soon as they give me a ticket, it's bearing a different ID. The product is my as a customer at that moment because I'm not buying with my name.
Let me come in now. Right now, you went into a supermarket, right? You bought a product. Now, let's say you bought Vaseline, right? And the order ID for that Vaseline, are you with me? Let's say it's 10,004. And are you getting it? Are you with me, Meka? Hello?
I don't have issue because every product you're buying has an order, an ID.
Okay.
So right now, even if it is in this ID, order ID, that you may even have a duplicate. But on customer ID, supposed to be a constant, no duplicate. But having a duplicate, because just imagine walking into a supermarket, you place your order. The receipt carries customer ID, product ID. So there's no way it will repeat that. When it's repeating that, it will no longer be taken as an ID or a unique ID. So that was why that was what I was asking. Why should other ID? I'm looking at the name.
Can I say?
Why should? Okay, say something.
Yeah, please stay on the table, please. I think his problem is with the fact that
hold on. Anyone that is speaking, please hold on. Anything we are going to do right tonight, please and please, let's not make it an aggressive thing. So YouTube does not take everything we've been doing down. Right? So please and please, let's not make it an aggressive thing. So you can speak. Hello? Hello? Can everyone hear me? All right, you can speak, please. What's your name? Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
All right. So,
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know what happened to MCN. My network went off. All right. So, someone was saying something about it. Hello?
Can I speak?
So now, should I just continue the explanation, or Olanika wants to say something?
Yes, I just want to give him an example so that maybe probably might clarify something.
All
Maybe
right.
we'll understand better.
All right.
Okay. So, for example, let's leave supermarkets aside. Let's say 5 individual working in a company. They went for an event and there's a buffet, serve yourself kind of thing. And we are given a tag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then I stand up as number 1. I go to the buffet, I carry a plate, I carry rice, and as I'm carrying, they are recording the things that I'm picking. Rice, I carry plantain, carry beans, I carry different things, maybe like 10. Probably they might have labeled the food with different labelings, with different numbers or probably name. It would be different. But if they are to write it, maybe they list the food out and then they list the food out. At each time I'm picking the food, the number will continue to change. Maybe it's recording it at the time I'm picking. Definitely the order number. I'm just trying to, if the supermarket thing is not working, if you didn't get it. Because when you go to supermarket, for example, the time you buy something, maybe the assigning that time is changing as you are buying. So if you buy as one person, if you buy multiple times, the order number will keep changing
Okay,
for
favor.
you.
Can I say?
But you are still the person
Can I say
that
something?
you are still buying the.
I agreed. You brought a good scenario. A good scenario. You walked up, an ID was given to you, probably number 2.
Yes.
You having gone up to 4 times. Did it change your ID?
It does not change my ID. My ID still remains the same.
This is
So
your
for my
customer
ID can
ID.
keep
Number 3.
repeating one on each different things I pick.
You picked. Is that what you're telling me? And each ID
Is my
your
order.
ID.
Is my order that will change because of the time span that I'm getting those things. The order will keep changing. The number attached to the order will keep changing, but my ID still remain the same. If you look at the customer ID, it's still the same person, but what they are ordering, the number is changing, probably because of the time they are getting that thing. It does not matter if the product is the same thing.
Hello, can I chip in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, from my own point of view here, the customer ID supposed to be the unique identifier, and the order, as you are ordering, the number can change.
Sure.
as they are ordering, but the unique identifier should be the customer ID. Whenever you make an order, it signifies that so person has placed an order.
Look at the
that's what me, I just
customer.
understand.
Hold on. Okay, now let me come in now. Let me just hold on. Everyone should hold on. Now look at the customer. The customer table alone is carrying the information for each customer ID. Right? Now, the customer ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now look at customer ID 3, meaning the person
Okay.
The person under customer ID 3 is ACME Bytes. Now, what is it trying to tell you? Right? Customer ID 3 is ACME. The name of the person is ACME Bytes. Now, this is phone number, this is address, this is city, his state, his zip code, his country, and the notes. Now, what is trying to tell you that all the old things customer ID 3 bought was under orders. Now, this is ID. Everything you are seeing there belongs to customer ID 3. Now, these are the products he has ordered for different order ID.
Okay.
Different units.
Maybe you're not understanding me.
Different units.
I said you're not understanding me.
Okay.
I said this order table shouldn't be our fact table. Is the customer table should be our fact table. That's my argument.
Sir, please, can I say something?
That's what he has been saying now. The customer ID is a fact.
Yes, should be the fact table. Because this is where your unique identifier is.
Hey, the unique identifier is not a must. Hold on. Please, hold on. Don't get it twisted, though. It is not a must your unique identifier is going to be on your dimension table or fact table. Your unique identifier can come in any table. But you, as an analyst, already know your fact table.
How do we separate the two? How do we separate the two?
Okay, now let me come in. Now, see something now. Let me merge it for you. Let me take it to Power Query and merge it for you. All right, let me take it to Power Query and merge it for you. Just hold on. Hold on. So now, you're saying we should take customer as our fact table. If I'm correct, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Now, if I merge,
yes.
If I merge queries, right, and I select the order. Now look at the customer ID 3 and this customer ID. Now, what's it saying? The selection matches what?
Yes.
Selection matches what?
It matches.
Matches what? 5 of what?
5 to 5.
5 to 5.
What?
And how many
5 of 5.
Hold on, 5 of 5.
Yes.
And how many information am I having on my order table? How many rows am I having? Look at the rows here. How many rows am I having?
Let me check because it's more than 5.
700 rows.
We are having 700 rows. What did I say about fact table? Come back to the PowerPoint slide. Come back to the PowerPoint. Let's go back to the PowerPoint slide. Now, what does the fact table say? Fact table, on the other hand, can carry a very large numbers of rows and continue to grow over time. Large numbers of rows and continue to grow over time.
That's the other ID.
That is your fact table, and that is the order table. Now, on the dimension table, what does the dimension table do? Contain a relatively small numbers of rows. Now, look at it on the customer here. Just carrying just minimal information that are needed in the fact table.
Okay. You have answered me. You have answered the question. This is why I wanted to know why this one is order table, why this one is dimension, and this one is the fact table.
Right?
You have answered. One can carry many rows.
It carries larger information. All the dimension table just carry minimal information.
Oh,
is that clear now?
Okay. It is quite clear because from the top there, let's see how it's going to play out when we do our visualization. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
So, for the last one for today's class, we are going to be talking about our cross-filter direction, right? So we are going to be talking about cross without direction. So we have the single cross filtering, and we have bidirectional cross filtering. Now, how does it work? Where does it comes in? Now, if I come back here now and I drag the relationship from here to this place, right? Now you can see the cross filter direction. It's shown as what?
So
It's shown as single, and under it I have both,
Single, yes.
right? Now, what am I trying to say? If now, for instance, now we have a road, right? And on that road, it is saying no entrance, meaning you can't go into the other way. Meaning, if you go there, it is one way. Are you with me? But if the road is a two-way road, meaning any incoming car and any car going in can pass that same road. That is the meaning of cross filter direction. Now, if it is on single and I click on save, what I'm trying to tell it now is customer table can control other table. You can see now this one that you are seeing. Anywhere you see this one, meaning that's the unique ID, that's the primary key. The primary key is on that particular table. And anywhere you see this asterisk, meaning the information there, that meaning that column that is relating to all of them is the one that's having the duplicated value, which is the alternative key. So meaning the alternative key is the customer ID on the other table, and the primary key is the customer ID on the customer table. Now the cross filter direction comes from the direction of the primary key and goes to the direction of the alternative key.
Sir, please, I'm totally
Okay.
Now let me explain again.
Don't get lost, though. We are here.
The primary key, right, is always having one. Anywhere you see one and asterisk, meaning on that table we are having the primary key, and on the other table we are having the duplicated values, which is the alternative key. Right now, when we now call cross filter directions, what we are trying to say is now if we read cross filter direction, it involves an unidirectional flow of filtering where interaction in one visualization affects another, but not vice versa. Now, what's it trying to say now? The interaction, right, of this customer table is only interacting with other table, but the other table interaction is not with the customer, meaning the other table cannot interact with the customer table. Only customer table can interact with other table, right? But when you change the cross filter direction to what? Bidirectional, meaning you change it to both and you click on OK. Now it's going to be like this. Now what I'm now trying to tell you now, other table now can interact with customer table, and customer table now can interact with other table. Do you get that?
Okay, what do you mean by interaction? Is it whatever you delete in this place will affect this one, or
No,
whatever any alteration you do in here? So what do you mean by interaction?
Let me show you that. Let me quickly show you that. Now I'll just be using our visualization to show us that. Now I'll be picking information from the customer table, right? Let's say
States. You can pick states. Oh.
Okay, let's say state, right? And the customer ID. Now the state and the customer ID. I'm coming.
Display.
Now can you see it now? Now I'll color my slicer. Now this one are for the customer. Now let me create another thing from the other table. Now let's say the product and the unit sold, right? Now this is what we're creating from the other table. So I'll come here and I'll select the same customer ID. So let me change the type of slicer setting to cell. Now can you see it now? This one is from where? The customer table. This is from where? The other table. Now if I click on, let's say, let me reduce it to 2. Now you can see that it is affecting everything here. Can you see it affected what is on the other table and the customer table? Can you see it is interacting with the other table? Can you all see it? Did you all notice the interaction? Let me change the settings so you see it properly. Now, let me click on it again. Now, I'll click on 4. Now, you can see now it is interacting with everything under the customer table, right? And also interacting with the order table. Can you see it now? If I click on 2, you can see it is interacting with each other. Can you all see the interaction? Right? So now, if I leave this one now and I come here now, which is from the order table, the information on the order table, and I click on 1, you can see the order table is only affecting the order table. It is not interacting with the customer table. Can you all see it?
Yes, sir.
Now let me choose another number. If I choose on 2, now this that I choose now, is it interacting with the customer table? The one like the visualization customer table. Is it interacting with it?
No.
It is not interacting. Can you all see it now? Now, if I come back here and I change the cross-filter direction to bi-directional, which is both, and I click on apply changes, right? And I can now see that the interaction is now what? Vice versa. You can now see it is vice versa. Can you see it now? Let me zoom in.
Yeah.
Can you see it now? This here is making it vice versa. If I come back here, right, and I choose on 1, now I can see that it is now affecting this one.
Yes, sir.
If I choose on 4, it is affecting this one, right? If I come back here now and I choose 5, now I can see this one is affecting this one now. Can you see it? That's the basic difference from them.
Okay.
If I choose 4, you can see it is affecting this one, affecting this one. It is now vice versa. Other table can interact with customer table. Customer table can also interact with other table. And that's it. It's as simple as that.
Is it better to use
Huh?
Is it better to use both, or is there a situation where single is better?
It's more to be very honest, I really don't use both, right? Because anything I want to do, right, I can just pick them from the I don't need to interact with my dimension table. I only need the dimension table to always interact with my order table, with my fact table. So yeah, if I pick the information from the order table, from the dimension table, I don't need to interact with my dimension table back. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be the end of today's class. And tomorrow, by God's grace, we are going to be moving into DAX formula. We are going to be moving into DAX formula. And so tomorrow for measures, right? Next week Friday, for calculated kilometer table. So by God's grace, on the 18th of July, we are going to be rounding up with Power BI.
Sir, please, tomorrow when we're starting the class, can you repeat all this one we just did right now?
Okay.
It will eat up into about time now. So why don't you watch the play? Watch and watch and watch and watch. You will understand.
It's called a recap. It's not like I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to do a recap of what we did today.
Okay.
Yeah. So is there any question?
Hello, sir. Please.
Emeka, someone is calling your name in the chat. Go and answer the person. Edet, I'm with you.
Yes, help us a lot.